Hi, Boston University. This is Emily Ling here in Austin, Texas. First, thank you so much for accepting me into the School of Theology, and thank you for this invitation to apply for more funding. So I've chosen three of the questions that you posted, and I'll begin with why did you choose to apply to the Boston University School of Theology? I first looked at BU just because I was exploring the different Methodist seminaries that are approved by the UMC. So I checked out your website and I was quickly impressed early on, starting on the opening page, where it states that you're preparing leaders for a range of vocations, including justice advocacy, peacemaking, and interfaith dialogue. I knew early on I did not really want to go to a school that was only focused on training preachers and theology professors, and so I really appreciate that graduates from BU continue on to do such a range of work in the world. Next, I looked at the legacy of BU and was really impressed with learning how you are the school of the prophets, especially knowing that you were home to Dr. King and James Lawson and others in the civil rights movement was powerful because so much about the inspiration for that particular movement has strongly influenced my own pursuits of social justice and racial reconciliation and peacemaking. Also, I was attracted to some of the unique program opportunities that you have, particularly the Poverty Justice Initiative and the Boston Poverty Consortium. And I loved that the School of Theology is located within the larger BU institution and also in Boston itself with all the opportunities that come with that. For the second question, what was your favorite class in your last degree program and why? So my last degree program was earning a Master's of Public Affairs from the LBJ School at the University of Texas. And my favorite class there was titled Politics and Process. And in that class, we explored the history of public policy in America and the different branches of government. And the class was really insightful for me because, unlike a lot of my classmates who had maybe worked on campaigns or had worked for the government before grad school, I had really been focused at the grassroots level on micro change. And so I learned a lot from that. But mostly the class was dynamic because it was taught by Professor Angela Evans. And Professor Evans was just a brilliant teacher who really challenged us to excellence both professionally and personally. She would emphasize the importance of not just bringing passion to a topic, but also bringing intellectual finesse, so as to really understand the different arguments being presented and being able to thoroughly analyze all the strengths and weaknesses of each of them. She also emphasized the importance, though, of bringing your heart to a policy discussion and that we needed to follow our true north, is what she called it, and use tactics and build relationships that were grounded on genuine integrity and respect. So I ended up only getting a B plus in that class, but I was probably more proud of that than my A's in other classes because Professor Evans really made us work for it. And more importantly, she inspired us to become better people in order to become better public servants. And then she also communicated how much she really believed in our potential to do that. Lastly, I want to answer the question, what is the best trip that you have ever taken and why? So this past fall of 2015, I had an amazing opportunity to travel to Spain for 6 weeks and to walk the Camino de Santiago, which is a historic Catholic pilgrimage. I was graced with just enough money and just enough time off work to go. The section that I walked was 480 miles starting in France and walking anywhere from 10 to 20 miles a day across Spain to the cathedral in Santiago de Compostela. Planning everything and going alone was a really big deal for me, but at the same time I knew that I was joining in a practice that millions of people have done over the ages. And every night I'd stay in a hostel and meet new people from countries all around the world, and we'd share food and we'd talk about why we were on pilgrimage, and we'd receive hospitality from the hosts, and we would encourage each other. And the whole thing just felt like such a tangible experience of the kingdom of God. And personally for me, I was going in large part to process the deaths of both my parents and also my grandmother who had raised me. And recently I also had to sell our family home. And so I feel a lot more like a pilgrim in life now since I don't have an earthly home and a family. And it was really special to be able to kind of process that out on the Camino. And after I made it to Santiago, I traveled to the ocean at Finisterre, and I was able to take some of my dad's ashes and a flower from my grandmother's funeral and scatter them into the sea. And then I had a rosary that my mom's mom had given me to remember her by that I prayed with. And I really felt a lot of peace and closure and an assurance that even when walking through the valley of the shadow of death, that goodness and mercy really will pursue me for all the days of my life. So that's all I hope that you all had a fun Mardi Gras yesterday and that you could get a king cake somewhere in Boston. And blessings on this Lenten season ahead. Thank you.